At Direct Service Garage Doors, we are your one-stop shop for all things garage door. From garage door repair and broken spring replacement to new garage doors and openers, we do it all. We're proud to be among the highest-rated local garage door companies in all of Central Arkansas. Our highly trained technicians are available 24 hours a day at no extra cost to you. So if you have an emergency, call us today, 501-244-3667, or visit our website at directserviceoverhead.com. Don't wait days. We'll fix it now.
All right. There we go. We got the audio fixed here. Let's do this. 3, 2, 1. Yo. What's going on? Arkansas Razorback fans, welcome. Arkansas, yet again, unable to close out a game on the road. Outside of a couple of games on the road, they've been atrocious. So they find a way to lose again on the road. Piss poor. I'll just say that. Piss poor. Shout out to Patreon supporters. We had a special guest today, Blake Lovell from Southeastern 14 YouTube channel. I know several of you reached out. You guys watch their content. Blake does an awesome job. It was awesome to have him on. If you are a Patreon supporter, you have access to that video on Patreon, on Tuss Talk with Ty Patreon. So if you haven't already, if you haven't already, go watch it. It'll be made public sometime Saturday. I haven't made up my mind if it'll be a Saturday morning or Saturday evening after Florida. I don't know. Probably in the morning. But if you guys want to check that out, it's an awesome interview. Blake brought up some really good points. We did talk about Alabama and the SEC. We definitely touched on quite a bit with Arkansas. Even he had a pretty good point to make about the officiating in this conference versus postseason play. I think you guys might want to tune in and listen to what he had to say. It was about 45 minutes long, and it was spectacular. Patreon members, mostly all the feedback I've been given so far it's been very, very positive. So, again, if you are one of these fine individuals, you have access to that video. So again, I appreciate it. Whether you're a $4 donor or $8 plus club member, you do have access to that video. Special shout out to our show sponsors, Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. I'm unable to do what I do without the sponsors and without Patreon supporters. So of course, all the love to the sponsors as well. Direct Service Overhead, they offer same-day services, emergency service, 24/7, 365 days a year. Free estimates, quality parts. Give them a call today at 501-244-3667. Apex Tattoo Studio. Get in line today. Go get some ink. They're located 201 South 19th Street in Rogers, Arkansas. They're offering discounts on tap outs on, I think, any ink. If you mention Ty Hudson and Tuss Talk with Ty, they'll give you a discount. And, of course, Odd Soul. Craft Bar and Pizzaria located right here in South Springdale. They've got the best stuff on tap. A lot of local stuff on tap, and of course they make fantastic pies. All right, I don't really I've gotten to a point where it's frustrating. I don't think this game knocks you out of the tournament. It doesn't knock you out of the tournament. But these next two games are pivotal. Listen, I agree with the assessment that you got to finish half of these last 6 games, right? Or 5. You've got to finish. You cannot afford to lose any of these games at home, including Kentucky, despite the fact they got a big win tonight. That's only going to help you if you're Arkansas. That's going to take a little bit of pressure off, right? You need Kentucky to keep winning. Yeah, Arkansas's a better team. Today, I don't know that they really won, but A&M played their asses off. They couldn't lose at home. They're fighting, thanks to their shitty early season non-con schedule. They're struggling to get in to make it into the tournament. I think they're going to get in. I've been telling you guys for weeks now. We need to start buying into A&M a little bit. They're a pretty good team. I think they're a pretty good team, and I think they're going to get into the tournament. We'll have to wait and see. They definitely are going to get a little bit of a bump in the net. I believe they'll get a little bit of a bump. I'm not really sure. Arkansas won't take a big hit, but they will. I think they'll drop in the net just a little bit. But, boy, these next two games, Florida, who just lost arguably one of their best players on that roster, Castleton's out with a broken hand. So a little bit of a heads up for Hog fans. When Florida comes into town, you already should have been favored. Well, you're going to be favored by a bit more without Castleton. Florida's in deep shit. They were really fighting. If you talk to a Florida fan, they'll tell you, well, I think we can win out. No, they're mostly realistic, though, when it comes to basketball lately. Finish. We didn't fight. Number one, recruiting, I can't tell. Yeah, Lorenzo, that's a bit of a overreaction. Nick Smith didn't play. I don't know. You guys are talking about Nick Smith. Someone in chat said he would answer his own questions. I don't know if that was a dig at me or not, but yeah, Nick Smith is clearly. We don't know what their plan is with Nick Smith. Jacob Belk, we have no idea, sir. I don't know. I don't know what. Only Nick Smith and Musselman knows what's going on. I don't know why he didn't play tonight. I can't read minds. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. Someone knows. If it's not Eric Musselman and Nick Smith, someone knows what's going on. I'm not going to make any comments about officiating. I mean, yeah, we knew. Blake and I talked about this today, actually, about how we thought this was going to be a really long game and a lot of fouls called, and it was definitely a lot of fouls called. A&M found a way. And once again, in the final 4.5, 5 minutes, Arkansas just doesn't know how to win games. They don't know how to do it, man. It makes me wonder how they have any wins that came down to the final several possessions. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they ever did it. I'm going to be real honest with you. Listen, I think they get into the tournament. But beyond that, I almost feel like, considering the two major injuries that they had this year, and yeah, that's worthy of talk. That's still a worthy part of the conversation. Not having Brazil and not having a 100% Nick Smith, not having him since December, I think it was just too big for them to overcome. You can bash the recruiting class all you want. You cannot deny that those two guys who Musselman was trying to build this team around, coming out of November, it's clear when he lost those two players, they took a hit. They took a massive hit. They've never fully recovered. They've just not been the same. And I don't know that they ever will be. I don't know that they'll ever reach the potential that we thought they could hit, right? I don't think they ever will. Doesn't mean they don't have an upset in them somewhere. Yeah, sure. And we'll have to revisit that, right? We'll have to revisit where Arkansas's at. It feels like a game-by-game scenario where every game provides you with something different, with a vastly different take. Kentucky, I mean, you talk about just bizarre. Kentucky season has been crazy. I don't know what to expect out of them. Tennessee beat Bama today. I still think Bama's a better team. I still think Bama is pretty big gap between Bama and everybody else. It's just hard to beat Tennessee on the road, even though South Carolina was able to do it. Tennessee, I mean, that was a wasp nest for Kentucky to walk into. It was a major upset. Also, Tennessee fans did not storm the court after being the number one team in the country. So, it's SEC. I just don't know what to make of it. I don't think it's a garbage conference. I said that in that post game against Mississippi State. It's not a garbage conference, but it's just so hard for me to look at the top 6 teams and take maybe 3 of them serious. Alabama, Nate Oates looks like they could actually advance in March. They look like the caliber of team that could go on, that could advance. This team is unbelievable. Alabama's good. They didn't play that great. I watched quite a bit of that game. They had kind of an off night, and they still probably should have won that game or had an opportunity. Got to give Tennessee, that's the best defense in the country, right? Bama's a top 10, top 15, I'd say top 10 defense in the country. And they're really good on offense, and Tennessee found a way to win that game. Big game at home for them. But Arkansas, I don't know. Listen, they'll make the tournament, but beyond that, I think if you get a win in the tournament, I feel like I'm just going to tell you guys, get ready to ride the roller coaster, right? Even in the SEC tournament. Listen, we're going to be here for the SEC tournament. We're going to do post-game shows for that. Who knows what they can do, man? Nick Smith is the question. That is the biggest question that everybody has. What the hell's going on with Nick? Why did he play almost 20 minutes last week? And then why was he so limited in the second half this week? What is going on? What is up with his clock management? I'm sure they're going to ask Muss. I'm sure they're asking him that right now as we speak. I'm sure that's a conversation being had. But this is the most underwhelming with what they have on the floor, with who's available, with what personnel is available. This is just such an underwhelming basketball team. I mean, these 5.5, 4.5, 5.5 minute droughts, 6+ minute droughts. A&M, they went 6 straight possessions where they shoot, they miss. Arkansas comes away with the rebound. They can't capitalize. A&M is, again, not a good shooting team. They're not a good offensive team. They're not a three-point team, and yet they went on that nice little 17-4 run coming out of the first half with that last-second three-point shot that should not have been that wide open, but you guys know where I've been with that inbounds defense. It's been not good. They struggle on those plays, and I don't understand it. And yet again, a wide-open player drains a three. At least he looked pretty wide open to me. I caught a glance of it because I really thought they were going to waste that possession and take it to halftime. But they go on that 17-4 run. Arkansas goes on a scoring drought, one of many in this game. They don't have an offensive identity unless it's Devo knocking down the three ball. I mean, that's really it. Like it's almost like they live and breathe, or they live and die off of what Devo can do outside. If Ricky Council goes cold, if Anthony Black can't finish at the rim, which we saw tonight, then it's all on Devo. And, guys, it's just not a recipe for success. It's just not. So, again, to answer Jacob Belk's question, I don't know what the hell's going on with Nick Smith. They need him going. They need him going now. We kind of knew it would be a soft start. I kind of figured, look, it's going to take him 2 or 3 games to get going. How do you go from 17 minutes to whatever he got tonight? I mean, did he play? Did he get 12, 10 minutes? What did he get tonight? I'll look at that here in a second. I'm just asking you guys if anyone's beat me to it looking at the stats. They're just an underwhelming team. I think it's, we sometimes we are victims in the moment. I'm trying not to be right now. It's just I saw this coming. I said a week and a half ago Arkansas should sweep A&M because it is a mismatch. Arkansas was in this game. There was at no point did I feel like, well, even in that final 3.5 minute stretch, I still felt like, well, they still can win this game. Will they? I don't think so. They were in this game. They are a better team. But what I said last week was I felt a lot less comfortable with this game. I think I said on the interview today with Blake, maybe we were recording, maybe we weren't. I can't remember what I said, but I'm pretty sure I had told him I don't like Arkansas in this game, just simply because of they just don't have a lot of momentum. It kind of feels like they know they're in and they know that they can afford to lose this game. It kind of has that feeling a little bit. I'm not saying they didn't hustle, not saying they didn't put their all into it, not saying that at all. I just get this vibe like these guys know what they got to do to get in, and that's just kind of what we're seeing. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. When it mattered, Devo disappeared on the offensive end. Yeah, and again, they're putting so much on him. They're putting so much on Devo, and it just cannot come down to Devo. It just can't, man. It can't come down to Devo. Again, they don't have a guy in the final 4 minutes to either get to the free throw line, make some buckets. They missed their opportunity tonight at the free throw line. They had opportunities at the free throw line to tie it up and to make this an even tighter game down the stretch, and they missed them. They missed 3 straight free throws. I mean, this team, they're just so underwhelming. It's just I don't know if Arky56 is in chat. I'm sure he's in bed. Old Pops. He told me a couple of weeks ago, and I'm not telling you guys to pile on him, but he said straight up over the phone, they're just not a very good basketball team, especially without Nick Smith and Brazil. They're just not a very good basketball team, and maybe that is true. I think they're hovering around a good team. I think they're hovering around that. They're just not quite there. I don't know. Again, that Kentucky game on the road, that was a nice win. What do you really make of that? What did that really tell you about Arkansas? I don't think it. Looking back on it, despite what happened tonight with Kentucky, I think at the end of the day, it's just a bizarre year. We'll have to get to the tournament. We'll see what they do when they get in. I do think this is going to be a matchup. This is going to be a team that's going to rely on matchups without a doubt. To be honest, Nick Smith Jr. was more of a hindrance when he was on the floor tonight. That was from Azazian on absurdity. Frederick Clemens. Damn, we suck on the road. Plus, yeah, they definitely, some of the shot selection there at the end of the shot selection for A&M was bad, but the shot selection for Arkansas was equally worse in the second half. Ty, I had as much hype for Nick Smith as I did for Mitch Mustang. Both have broken. Different reasons, though. I mean, come on, Mitch. Well, Devo was in a different zip code tonight, man. Yeah, he was. I mean, look, he shot he was 4 of his first 8 outside. I mean, at one point, this dude's shooting 80 or 50% outside on his first 8 shots, outside his threes. Without Devo tonight, you probably get. You probably don't go on any kind of a run. You probably still struggle, only worse. Smith 2 turnovers and 0 for 1 shooting, impressive stuff. Yeah, again, I just think you guys are being a little too hard on Nick. I don't think he's. I'm really starting to wonder if there's just something else going on with the injury. I don't know. I don't know if it's either maybe they felt less comfortable. I'm not saying he re-injured himself. Maybe he did. I don't know, but. Maybe they felt like they overplayed their hand, right, against Mississippi State, and he's not really back to what they thought. Look, he didn't get the start tonight. We know that. He didn't get the start. He had to come off the bench. Devo must have had money on A&M. Golly, come on, you guys. There's no one. I mean, that dude puts it on the line every game. Come on, Ty. This team ain't making the dance. Yeah, but Fish, listen, what you don't understand here is the net. The computers love the SEC. Why, I don't really know. Again, it was a really good conversation with Blake, and Blake had a really good point today. The computers love the SEC. They can get in with 20 wins. And Lenardi still seems to think there's going to be 7, right? I think they're in. I just, again, don't know how far they're going to go. God. Yeah, Twins with those fouls early it really hurt. Both those guys with 4 fouls between the two of them was a hindrance, man. I mean, they had to ride the bench. Anthony Black is the topic of discussion for me. So DMAC 127. I'd like to hear what you mean by that. Anthony Black is the topic of discussion to me. What do you mean? What do you want to say about Anthony Black? Listen, I'm not saying I would agree or disagree. I'm curious what you have to say. I don't know, Tusk. I've never been called that. I have never been called Tusk. It's always Ty or Tyzilla because I used to have a channel called Tyzilla. I don't know, Tusk. We missed several free throws, missed several layups. They did. Didn't get any offensive rebounds. Not sure about this team yet. Well, Corey, yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I think there was definitely an issue tonight. Once again, it's just more of the same on the road. It's just more of the same on the road. We all know it. It's more of the same. Kentucky might have just been an anomaly. South Carolina, you go back to that South Carolina performance, what was different? They were still shit. It just what mattered in that game was South Carolina is more shit, right? I mean, yeah, don't judge me, Matt. Don't judge. The Nick Smith Jr. hate is mind-blowing to me. Why push him for this game? Yeah, I don't. Again, maybe that's a reflection of Musselman too. Maybe Musselman just thought, I don't want to push him here. I don't want to push him here. Let's wait. Let's get back home. Let's get a couple days to work on it. We got a couple games in Fayetteville. Let's start to get him going there. Maybe that was what was on his mind. Because this is not, if you lose this game, worst case scenario, you lose the game and you might drop a little bit. But the computers have loved the SEC up until this point. I would be shocked if they drop very much. I'm not saying that they won't, that there's not a chance they don't just drop a lot, but I don't think they will. A&M gets a little bit of love, a little bit, even though they're early. What hurts them is their early They've had some confusing losses, and their early non-con schedule was garbage. It's all right. Just deal with it. What do you mean? What do you mean just deal with it? I think that's what we're trying to do. Hell, the Hogs don't play good at home either against competent teams. I mean, we have seen them play pretty good, just not consistently. I don't know. I really this is just I go back to Maui, and I think, imagine if that team, if Musselman was able to build off of that performance in Maui, nobody's hurt, nobody gets re-injured, and what that team would look like now. And I know it's woulda, coulda, shoulda, but I can't help but to do that because we all know that the promise was there. It was there, man. We saw glimpses of it. They were winning games. They looked pretty good until they didn't. And, of course, the injuries absolutely mattered. It's the will to win, says Marquise. Maybe that's what's going on, man. I don't know. I think some of it is youth. I do. I think there's some immaturity. You guys, a lot of you know how I am. I don't mind a little bit of chirping. I don't mind a little bit of jaw flapping. I don't. It shows that you got that dog in you. You know what I mean? Of course, you've got to perform. You got to back it up. I don't mind a little bit of chirping. Shit talking happens, man. If it's a football field, if it's a basketball court, soccer field, doesn't matter, especially when a bunch of bros are balling out and playing. There's going to be some shit talking. I don't mind a little bit. But, man, these guys, they complain. I mean, it is every single foul. It is every single call. These guys just really, their immaturity really starts to show up a little bit. We saw Nick Smith Jr. I don't know if you guys caught him. John, he stepped over the line. He stepped out of bounds. He turned around, eyes just huge, just like going at this dude. I can't read lips, but he's going at that dude. That's fine. Whatever. But what we saw was several other players jawing the officials. And there were some missed calls, sure. I think both sides of the floor. A&M, they caught a little bit of home cooking, of course. That's what teams do, no matter the league. You're going to get a little bit of home cooking. But every single foul, even the calls that were right, I just don't know. They show their immaturity at times. I'm not saying that's why they lost tonight. Again, I love the dog in them, man. I love that they want to chirp. They want to, I don't mind that at all. But you got to be able to back it up. And at times we're just not seeing that. Ty, why is this team so bad? I don't think they're as bad as you think they are, Jacob. I just think they don't know. It goes back to what I've been saying and what I feel like I say every single postgame show after a loss, especially in the final minutes. They don't know how to win in the final few minutes of a game. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to do it. They don't know. They can't get to the free throw line. When they do, they miss shots. They miss wide open looks. Shot selection just drops. They turn the ball over one way or another. They foul. They make just stupid mistakes. They just don't know how to win. They just don't know how to win. Scott Jones says, "It's over, buddy." God, that's not dramatic at all, Scott. Golly, man, step off the ledge. Step back away from the ledge, Scott. I promise it'll be okay. The sun will shine tomorrow. A&M made a goal of dunking at the end of the game. They remembered the Devo thing. I mean, whatever. I feel bad for Musselman. Oh, because he's Musselman's wife, because he's hard to be around, especially after a loss. He's probably just miserable. Ty, if Arkansas loses 3 of their last 5 to finish the regular season, would you still consider them a lock for an at-large bid? I like I said, they just got to win their home games. Just win your home games. One of them, depending on what's going on with Kentucky, could be a quality win. Depending on what Kentucky, if they can continue to build. I don't know if they turn the corner tonight or not. I don't know. You kind of need Kentucky. It's weird to say that, but you need Kentucky to win. You absolutely need Kentucky to win ball games. So many people don't understand that NBA drafts off potential. Yeah, potential plays a large role. Charles Harper, Ty, do you think our 3 5-stars are better than 4-star Moses Moody? I think these guys were rated wrong. They should all come back for another year. Oh, Charles, yeah, now I get what you're saying, Ash. Yeah, their potential is enough. No, their potential is really, really high, and that's why they're looked at. I don't know if Black will be a lottery pick or not. I feel like he will be. 6'7" point guard, who's shown who could score at will, who when he's on, he can finish at the rim. He's not a deep threat as far as a scorer, but I'm sure the NBA would love to see him develop something more of a mid-range jump shot or develop an outside shot, but he's got potential. He's got a lot of potential. When you consider expectations, this is the most disappointing season ever. Well, you can't, no matter what happened, right? No matter if we're talking injuries or not, I agree that it still can be disappointing. It can. The potential was high. I just think people sometimes take that a little too far, and I don't think you guys realize it's hard for some teams to overcome one, like a guy that's as important as Trevon Brazile. It's hard for teams to overcome that. Some teams, that might ruin their season. Then you have two guys, I think, I don't know, man. I feel like people just, I don't know. Maybe it's emotions after a loss. I don't know, but that's huge. I don't think some people understand how detrimental. Okay, I'll put a little emphasis on it. Detrimental. Those losses were. They're huge. And Arkansas has never recovered. They're trying to get Nick Smith going. They're trying their damnedest to get Nick Smith going. Or they were. At least I thought they were. Until tonight. All right, let's look at the stat sheet. We can argue about all this stuff, whatever. I mean, I don't disagree that it is disappointing. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. The performance, especially on the road with these guys just not figuring out how to win when it matters. Yeah, or find a way to close games out in the final 4.5 minutes. Why they just been they haven't improved there. They just haven't. And I really think at this point, I do have them in the tournament. Beyond that, I don't know that I would take them beyond the first round. It's going to be a matchup thing. It's going to be, they match up well here. And, the good news is it'll be neutral court. They have done okay on neutral floors this year. So that you have that going for you, but it's still going to be a different atmosphere. Tonight, Nick Smith logged a grand total of 4 minutes. Okay, so he was sub 10. He was at 4 minutes. -1 here. 0 for 1 outside. And 2 turnovers, according to the Razorback stat sheet. Definitely not where you want him to be at. Again, thought he would get more minutes tonight. I mean, there was a conversation about him starting. There was a conversation about him starting tonight, and the guy doesn't even put up 5 minutes of play. Musselman went in with a 9-man rotation in this game. Jalen Graham, Kamani Johnson, Jordan Walsh, Nick Smith all got some time off the bench. Kamani got 4 minutes. You guys hate on Nick. Kamani got 4 minutes, 2 fouls, and absolutely no stats recorded. But no, Nick's numbers are worse, though. I mean, 2 turnovers, no points. Yeah, I'm curious as to what Nick Smith or what Musselman says about Nick tonight. 50% at the free throw line. I mean, everything I'm looking at here is a recipe for losing for Arkansas. 44% from the floor. That's not atrocious, but it's not how you win. It's not how you beat teams like A&M. Again, you go back to shot selection. Turnovers weren't abysmal, but you're at 13 turnovers. But 22 of 50 field goal percentage at 44%, 31% outside, out in the perimeter. They were 5 of 16, and they were 50% at the free throw line. It's a different conversation if you don't miss those 3 it's a different conversation. Devo was 0 for 3 at the free throw line. 4 of 10, so he shot 40%, 4 of 10 outside. Ricky Council 0 for 3. Black 1 for 2. Walsh 0 for 1. So Devo is once again, the guy that's knocking down the three ball. He ends up with 14 points. He's your leading scorer for the Razorbacks. 12 points off your bench. Jalen Graham got 4. I kind of thought Jalen Graham might be the recipe for success for them tonight, especially with the Mitchell twins in foul trouble and then them kind of pulling them off one at a time. I kind of thought Jalen might get going. He did not. Walsh, who got into foul trouble and they talked about how great of a cutter he is. He is a great cutter. He could fight and get you some rebounds. He got an offensive rebound. Arkansas was just 5 offensive rebounds tonight. It's not like A&M, they didn't 2-1 you there. They almost did. 9 offensive rebounds, 36 total rebounds to Arkansas's 33, 17 assists for the Hogs. You were +4. You were +4 in assist-to-turnover ratio. 13 turnovers, 17 assists. You didn't get destroyed on the boards. You got a little bit of production from your bench, not much. The difference tonight being A&M shot 50%. This is not a good three-point shooting team. They knocked down 6 3 balls, 50%. They're 81% at the line, and they shot horribly overall. They were 35%, 19 of 54, and they still found a way to win this game. They found a way to win this rock fight, which is exactly what it was. Again, I don't have a lot of confidence in Arkansas on these road games. I definitely do not see them getting an upset, but maybe. I don't know. They have it in them. I think their ceiling, if they could, Kentucky might have been their ceiling post Nick Smith, post Brazil. That's their ceiling, is what we saw against Kentucky. Maybe if they can play like that again, yeah, they could definitely beat somebody on the road. I don't see them beating Bama. And Tennessee, they know what's up. Tennessee knows what's up. RC is basically a warm body on the floor. Yeah, Council, that shot selection there, 6 points tonight, 0 for 3 outside. His shot selection in the second half was just wasn't it. Arkansas did have 6 blocks. McKell with 4 blocks, Mackay with 2. The Twins, welcome to the block party. Just too bad you couldn't top it off with a dub. Mush just said the reason Nick Smith didn't play in the second half was he was just trying to win the game. Charles Marshall says Nick Smith is not a lottery pick. Let it go, Charles. I tell you what, you go tell those writers, these NBA draft prospect, these analysts and these writers, you go tell them they're wrong, because every one of them have Nick Smith as a top 3 to top 10 pick. He might fall some, I don't know, but he will end up being a lottery pick. Again, you're asking for proof. That's not how this works. You realize there are guys that get drafted who don't play college basketball, right? You get that. It's based on their potential. Ricky just trying to be shit. Uprising Gaming says, I don't think Nick Smith Jr. is 100%. That's a very bizarre explanation by Muss. Muss just said the reason Nick Smith didn't play in the second half was he was just trying to win the game. Maybe he just felt like right now Nick Smith just ain't it. He's just not meshing. There's not any chemistry. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe it's a square peg in a round hole situation. I don't know. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if Nick Smith isn't 100%. I agree with that. Ricky just trying and shit sometimes. Yeah, he's chucking them up. Just hoping something sticks, man. Brazil was our best player. Not Council. In SEC, let's see. In SEC play, Council just disappears. Then we'll have a big game. Brazil going down, ended our season in retrospect. Brazil was a huge loss. I do agree with that. Brazil was a huge loss. And again, I just don't think they've ever overcome it. I just don't think they do. That's not an excuse. That's just, listen, man, that's basketball. One guy, one of these guys go down, it can just destroy your season. It absolutely can. It could crush you. Now, you do have a couple other McDonald's All-Americans. You have Walsh. You have Nick Smith trying to get back into things. Devo has been a spark in conference play. Ricky Council, inconsistent, but when he's on, he's on. Black has been fantastic when he can finish at the rim. Now, if you want to have an argument about whether or not he's a lottery pick, I mean, okay, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. I know there are a lot of people who seem to believe that he is. Charles, he's not been healthy. What are you, bro? Here's a Sonic Cup, my man. I mean, talk. The Sonic Cup might actually listen to you. He hasn't been healthy. What are you talking about? Have you watched Arkansas basketball this year? He's not been healthy. And then you're trying to throw him into the fire. I agree with what someone in chat said. He's just not. It could be a chemistry issue. Could be a health issue. Listen, I'm not saying he's going to go to the NBA and be the next Kobe. I'm not saying that. I'm telling you what I read and what other basketball people that I talk to are telling me. He is a lottery pick based on potential. That's how this works. It's not like football where all film matters, and film takes up a lot of what when you compare that to the NFL Combine, the film is huge, right? NBA works a little different. It's based on it's based on what his ceiling is at that given position, his length, his size, his athleticism. Is he a two-way player? Is he a three-level scorer? Can he play the combo? Can he play the one? Can he play the two? How does he defend? Can he defend the one, the two, the three? How much length he has? The potential is through the roof. And there's all kinds of guys that have really high potential, and they bust in the NBA. But guess what? A lot of them were lottery picks. It's just how it works. Charles, maybe you don't pay attention to the NBA draft. I do because it's part of my job. At least I try to keep up with it when the Razorbacks are involved, and I'm a Boston Celtics fan. I'm going to tell you his potential. Everything on paper says he's a lottery pick. All these analysts are saying he's a lottery pick. Is it possible that he drops? Anything's possible. Anything is possible. If they think he is not healthy, he could drop. But based on his potential, all the way up to last summer, going further back, he has been considered a lottery pick. For a while, he was top 3. I've seen some draft boards just a couple weeks ago had him still as number 2 prospect. It just is what it is, man. So I don't know. You have laughing emojis. I guess just I don't know, man. Hold the L. I don't know what to tell you. It's a weird argument. Like all these NBA analysts, all these scouts, all these different sites, all these different places that talk about this very subject are telling me and you, if you want to go read, that he's a lottery pick. Now, again, is it possible they don't have faith in his health? Sure. But based on what they believe his skill to be at the moment, he is a lottery pick. You could skip college and play Major League Baseball right out of high school. Mm-hmm. You sure can. You go work your way up through minor leagues. You farm your way up. Why didn't Nick Smith? Yeah, Leon, we kind of already touched on that. Musselman's explanation was he wanted to win. So I don't know. Some of y'all just don't get it. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, here's a nice Sonic Cup. You guys can talk to it. I don't know. Can you explain it to us then? Explain what to you, Brooke? If you're talking to me, I don't know what you're. I feel like I just did. I feel like I just laid it out for you. My expectations for Nick Smith Jr. was only that he looked like he had played the game before. If he's a lottery pick, that shouldn't be an unrealistic expectation. Yeah, again, God, again, he's not played since December. that matters, right? You're in February. You're in the middle of February. March Madness is right around the corner. Musselman has talked about having to coach 6 different teams or build 6 different teams in a single season. I don't know what to make of that. Maybe I mean, I get it. He had a team where he had everybody, and then he had a team where he didn't have Brazil. He had a team where he didn't have Nick Smith. You know, he had a team where, you know, of course, the natural adjustments through the season, right? The natural adjustments along the way. I don't know what I mean, I'd like to hear him go into further explanation as to what he means exactly by 6 different teams. I get from a personnel standpoint and who he has to work with. I'd kind of like to hear him go a little deeper in that. But, again, Nick Smith has not played since December. You don't just drop a guy on the floor and expect him to be great. You just don't. No matter who they are. And then you have to factor in chemistry, right? You got to factor in the rotation and the formula. It changes everything. Nick Smith, I guess we could say he's back. I don't know. It certainly didn't seem that way tonight in terms of just being available, or Musselman just didn't want to play him because, again, it could be a chemistry thing. And he's not going to come out. I don't think Musselman will come out and just say, yeah, it's chemistry. He's not working. I don't think you'll hear him come out and say that. Maybe he will. I don't know. You can see Muss is beyond frustrated. It's a frustrating team. Man, them refs dislike Walsh. That foul was bullshit. Yeah. They going off high school film. Charles, bro, go. God, man, go Google. Go to NBC Sports. Go to ESPN. Go look at a mock draft, bro. I don't know what else to tell you. God, dude. Like, get a grip. You're just going to have to live with it, man. You're going to have to hold the L when he's drafted as a lottery pick. You're just going to have to hold the L. All right? God. You can argue with a damn wall over it, which is what I feel like I'm doing. LeBron got drafted off his film. Laugh out loud. And by the way, he's not saying anything near Braun, just making a point. Black is a top 5 pick, and Nick is gone. He hasn't played since December, so no expectations should be high on him. Ty Charles has truly trolled you. Let it go. Doesn't seem like a troll job to me. A troll job. I've seen trolls in here, Gary. I've had many. Seems to me like he can't let go that Nick Smith will be a lottery pick. Alabama made the dance with a 1912 record last year, but Nate Oates schedules way harder games than Muss does. Well, that's why Arkansas's in the conversation. That's why Arkansas's in the tournament conversations, because their non-con schedule was pretty decent. They have a couple of wins that are good enough to put them in the conversation. They're going to get in with 20. I think they get in with 20 wins. You know, what they do in the final 6, you know, with these home games, you can't drop one. If you lose a single home game, I really don't know what the answer is at that point. I really don't. I don't know how they get in if they lose to any of these 3. Maybe if Kentucky has turned the corner, if Kentucky's turned the corner and you drop that game and then you get some games in the tournament, in the SEC tournament, I don't know at that point. 2011 is a tournament team. They are. I think 20 is. Yeah, but they got to get there first for sure. To tell the truth, I don't care if any of them play in the NBA. I want them to play well now and win. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. RC needs another year of development. Yeah. Well, shot selection's got to get better. Florida just lost Castleton. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. He broke his hand. He's going to be out for the foreseeable future. Florida's already in deep shit with Castleton. They're in even deeper shit without him. Black has been mocked constantly as a late lottery pick. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not saying that he won't be. I'm just saying, I mean, there have been folks that have said that he's not. I've seen saw a mock draft about a week and a half ago that had him as like the 20th pick. He dropped back to 20. But most mock drafts have him as a lottery. Yes. RC's jumper is icky. Yeah. How was the officiating? I haven't talked about it. I mean, they did get 23. There were 43 total fouls, which is not surprising when you consider these two teams. A&M is really good at getting to the free throw line. They shot 18 of 22. Yeah, I mean, they 22 to your 14. I mean, you tell me, you know. It just is what it is. I mean, it's always a hill for them to climb, man. It's always a hill for them to climb. Just inconsistent officiating yet again. I mean, it was I mean, they got home cooking, but I mean, that's to be expected. Again, these are two teams that know how to get to the free throw line. Like a dead duck. What do you mean like a dead duck? Arkansas will still lose to Florida, says Lorenzo Applewhite. I don't think so. I'd take Arkansas. I think they should be favored. It might still be a ball game because Arkansas just has trouble winning cleanly. It might still be a ball game. But no, I would take Arkansas over Florida, especially without Castleton. If we lose to Florida, be sure to panic together. Oh, man. My two dogs are so chill right now. They totally don't care that we suck. Fishman's on one tonight, man. If we lose to Florida, then I jump the cliff. Yeah, if they lose to Florida, that's over. I mean, that's it. I don't know how. Again, if you drop any of those 3 home games, you're in trouble, man. You're in deep shit. You're looking at probably a 19 win team. I don't know. I mean, we could talk about last year, and yeah, the net rankings are strong. They are strong for the SEC. Why? I don't really know, but they are strong. If we lose either of the next 2, there's no way to get in. Yeah. You got to be positive, Maine. You talking to me? I've sat here and said, I don't know if you're talking to me or not, Corey, but no, I've got them in. I think they get in. I mean, I think anything beyond that would be, it kind of feels like at this point it'd be icing on the cake. We might get to play in a spot if we lose 3. Oh, 3 out of the, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, next up, Florida, Saturday, what is that, 1 o'clock tip-off, 1 o'clock on ESPN2, Georgia, SEC Network on the 21st. Again, another stupid-ass 8 p.m. tip-off. God, we have 2 of those things left, man. I just At Bama right now is to be determined. We don't have a time on that one. You talk about a hornet's nest. They love beating Arkansas. And they do it in every sport but baseball these days. And then at Tennessee on the 28th, 8 p.m., and then back home against Kentucky, 1 o'clock. So, I mean, there it is. There it is. All right. I think we handed out our L's, right? Oh, Charles is going to hold that L when the NBA draft comes around. I hope you're here, bro. I wouldn't say no. I'm not in panic mode. I don't think anybody should be. I think Arkansas still has a shot at getting in the tournament. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll beat Florida. I think they'll beat Georgia, and they've got it in them to beat Kentucky. They are a matchup issue, really, for all 3 of those teams, man. They really are. But we'll see what's going on with Nick. I don't know. I don't like that explanation. If that's truly all that we got out of Muss. That's a weird, like, what's really going on? Is it a chemistry thing? What's up? What is it? What the hell's going on? Why did he only log? What was it? 4 minutes. So, I mean, you had some interesting games today. You had some interesting scores. Tennessee beating Alabama again. I still think Bama's better. I still think Bama's a better basketball team. You've had some interesting matchups, some interesting games lately. The SEC's just been a wild ride, and we'll see how this thing closes out. Right? We still have basketball left to play. And again, if they lose one of these next 3 at home, yeah, then it might be time to hit the panic button. I'm not there yet. It's disappointing. Once again, Arkansas doesn't know how to close a game out. It's just how it goes. Hey Ty, you're being super positive, my guy. LOL. Your show's keeping a bunch of fish. What are you smoking tonight? You seem keeping a bunch of from leaping off the Golden Gate Bridge. Please don't go jumping into Beaver Lake. Don't go Tyzilla on them, Ty. Yeah, well, I think some people just, they say stupid shit when they're coming off a loss. I get it. I don't know, dude. We'll see you later. Boom. There you go, Charles. There's you a timeout, bro, as we end the show. It's all in good fun. Enjoy that, though. There you go. Little Tyzilla for you. What's up with Nick? Again, we don't know. Musk just said that they apparently he just Musselman's explanation tonight was that they wanted to win. They wanted to play to win, so I don't really know. Oh, man, that felt good. All right. That actually kind of, I feel so much better. It's just, haven't timed someone out in a long time. Tennessee owned Alabama so far on the sports calendar this year. I'm not crying for Alabama. All right. Yeah. Well, Blake Lovell video will be public on Saturday if you guys want to watch it. If you're Patreon supporters, you guys will already have access to it. Just go to Patreon. Go to Tuss Talk with Ty Patreon, and yeah, it'll be there. Should be at the top of the screen for Patreon supporters. So go check it out. Go watch it. It's only about 45 minutes. It's a really good conversation, and yeah, and again, it'll go live probably. I think Saturday morning is when Saturday sometime. I don't know what time, but it'll go live on Saturday. So you guys look, you guys go check it out. What's going on in Discord? Oh God. All right. I guess we're gonna have to go time some more people out probably. I will see you guys on Friday. I will be live on Friday. We're going to get ready for Florida. We're going to talk about just kind of where we're at that point. Joe Lenardi said this game doesn't affect our NCAA bid status. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, Tony. I tried telling him. I'll see you guys on Friday. Stay safe. Always woo pig. Win or lose, baby. Win or lose, woo pig, okay?